So basically today we want to discuss about benefits of consuming coffee, or benefits and disadvantages of drinking a cup of coffee. So just in case you are out there and you are watching me live, feel free to ask any question about coffee. It might be any beverage, it might be about caffeine, it might be about anything that you'd love to know about coffee, just in case you are a barista and you're also facing challenges on how to get a job after trying out different ways on taking in your applications or anything else like that about being a barista, about coffee. So feel free to leave it on this platform whereby you can easily comment, or still you can reach me on different platforms like the Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for your questions about coffee. So today we are going to discuss about uh, the benefits of drinking coffee. It's not all about drinking coffee. It can be anything else. I'm sorry, just have some flu, though it's not all about corona, but I think I shall be well. So just in case you are over there, I'll be reading your messages here. Yeah, today I'm free and I'm like, I think I need to take a chat with my people. So as we get started, what are the benefits of drinking coffee? Just a let me first see if you can hear me. Okay, that's great. So what are the benefits of drinking or consuming coffee? We have a number of benefits. Both these are health benefits or health-wise, though the benefits of coffee are very many, both economically, socially, politically, and health-wise. But when we talk about benefits of drinking coffee, we are trying to attract different people, different clients to consume our coffee. So as a barista, as a doctor in coffee, as a person who has worked in coffee for a long time, I'll be discussing with you some of the benefits of consuming coffee, but still I'll have to recommend for you, or I have to recommend to you these kinds of coffee that you are supposed to be taking. Because remember, we are different people. There are people who are supposed to drink a single shot espresso coffees. There are people who are supposed to drink filter coffees, and there are people who are supposed to drink brewed coffee. And this also matters with the time period or the duration through which you are trying to do what, to consume the coffee. So right now I'm on a Zoom meeting. I think I'll need to admit people. I can see Mr. John joining our meeting. Yeah, because basically I decided to start up a Zoom class whereby we can easily share different ideas as baristas on how we can easily do what, on how we can easily try to share different ideas. So Mr. John, you're most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. John, I can't hear you very well. I think it's network. I can't hear you very well. Mr. John?
Wanji?
Network sigifuna bulungi.
Wanji sebo?
Network kati awunkuwulira.
Network yange eriko obuzibu?
Kati awunkuwulira, just that ekifaananyi kyekitagira naye kati awo ndowooza oteredde. So basically, Mr. John, this video is live on YouTube and we're going to be sharing different benefits of consuming coffee. You get it? I had already started the session since it's on live on YouTube, but still we can easily share different ideas from you. So first, give us an introduction about yourself. Then I think we shall get started with our video as other people are joining the class. So Mr. John, say something about you and the reasons as to why a person has to take coffee.
I am John.
Mr. John, still your network is kind of down.
Barista John Tindiewa.
Barista John, your network is kind of low. I think, what if you try cutting off the video, then you first speak through the audio. We'll try and see that. So try speaking with it.
Hello.
Yeah, now I can get you clear.
Then I was trying to say that I'm Barista Tindiewa John.
Okay.
I'm from Uganda.
Right.
I'm aged 34.
Okay.
The reason why I need to take coffee, there are different reasons, because coffee take a lot of too much benefits to our body. One of them,
like
it can
which
help to
benefits?
burn fat. It can help to burn fats in the body, which are unnecessary. Then
Okay.
it can improve on energy level and make someone smart. What if, take a scenario, one is coming from the worker, is just very tiresome.
Okay.
If you take coffee, it metabolize that. Then second, it improves physical performance.
Okay.
And then it contains essential nutrients like vitamin B, vitamin B3, like that.
Okay.
And it may protect you from some disease like it protect liver.
Okay.
So that's what I can talk about on coffee. That is the following reasons which I use to take coffee.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So those are like you've heard from Mr. I think Mr. John, you can switch on your video again. I think like you've heard for the people watching this video, those are some of the benefits Mr. John has decided to share with us, and I won't be negative about those benefits. So like we had discussed, or like we had said, sorry about my network. I think people are hearing me. Yeah, let me just reconnect back. Okay.
Hearing you, sir.
Okay, that's great. So like we had said that in most cases, coffee has different advantages, both politically, socially, economically, physically, and health-wise. You get my point?
Yeah.
So,
yes.
And on some of the advantages that you have talked about, I think I'll just increase on the number of the what? On the number of the benefits that, or the advantages of consuming coffee. I think it protects the liver, like you've said. Remember, when we're taking coffee, we have to know the things coffee contains. Coffee contains caffeine, magnesium, potassium, antioxidant. It's called
antioxidants.
Something like that. Then it contains nutrients.
Antioxide.
Antioxide. Sorry about my tongue. Then I think doctors will help us on that. Then it contains also nutrients which accumulate to vitamins, especially vitamin B. Is it vitamin D, vitamin B?
Vitamin B.
Okay. So after knowing what coffee contains, those are just a sample of the things or the items that coffee contains in them. Then there is something that people have to know while taking coffee. Before we tell you about the benefits, we have to know that there is an amount of coffee.
Type 2 diabetes.
Okay. No, now I think we're going to the next point, Mr. John. So
yes.
People have to also understand how much coffee are you supposed to take in a day. Many people remember that too much of anything is bad. Once you consume a lot,
yes.
Those are the high elements that you're consuming, like caffeine. And once you consume a normal number of what? A normal number of cups, those are the benefits that you are going to attain from drinking a cup of coffee. Because there are reasons as to why I'm saying this. I've received questions like, most especially from the side of the women. Women get to ask her, I think Mr. John is trying to concentrate. Women get to ask, is it well or is it okay for a woman who is pregnant to drink a cup of coffee? Then other women still go on and ask that, does coffee make us dry just in case we drink it? I think Mr. John's network is off. Yeah, so we shall continue as Mr. John's network is coming back. Okay, then, so trying to defend the coffee side of it, remember that, like I've told you, when you consume too much of anything, it's going to become bad. However much you like something, however much a drug that you're going to take to cure your disease or your illness is really beneficial. Once you take in too much of it, you are going to find disadvantages. That's why you hear overdose. So when you transact that to the coffee, you are still going to hear that. You are still going to hear people saying that we are doing what? You're taking overdose, which is going to cause different disabilities or different disadvantages into your body. Remember, you want to cure, but you are taking too much of it. So when you take too much coffee, you are consuming too much caffeine, which is really going to lead to, let me say, restlessness or insomnia into your brain. That's why you hear most of the people saying that we don't sleep after taking coffee. Because I do take coffee regularly, but when it's time to sleep, I sleep just because I consume the right number of coffee, which basically means that I consume 2 to 4 cups, which is really right. It might be an espresso shot, it might be filtered coffee, V60 liter or Chemex, it might be any other cold brew, but still I consume right in the number or right in the stage of the cups I am supposed to consume to eliminate of the disadvantages. So like you had Mr. John saying that it boosts physical performance due to the high caffeine or due to the caffeine or the magnesium, potassium, and the vitamins that are contained in the what? In the coffee while you consume it. Every time you gain in these elements, trust me, you are boosting your physical performance. You feel like you are energetic, you can carry someone. Someone may direct this to, let me say, drugs, like people say, but coffee is not a drug. Coffee is just a what? Someone just asked it on Facebook. Yeah, coffee is not a drug. Coffee is just a what? Coffee is just it's it's a beverage. It's a drink. It's something that you can chew, even if it's a roasted, even if it's a roasted what? Roasted beans. Then it helps you lose weight due to the fact that it cuts the fats within your body. You get it? That basically means that I would advise or recommend someone to take it hot. Let me say you can take an Americano, black coffee, a V60 hot, a Chemex hot. This is really going to help you cut your fat within the body, most especially in the stomach or in the belly. Don't look at my stomach thinking that, it doesn't do what? It doesn't cut Andrew's stomach. Then it helps you stay focused and you stay alert, most especially when you are busy. Let me say you are doing some different activities or managerial works. People are advised always to take a cup of coffee so that it makes you stay awake, it makes you stay alert, and it helps you stay focused. Then it lowers the risk of death. 20% of the youth or at the age, okay, I think Mr. John is coming back. Let's try and see. I think Mr. John, your network was off, but thank God that you've come back.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll still continue with that. Coffee lowers the risk of death. You get it? Due to these elements that contained in the coffee, this reduces the risk of you dying at a young stage. You get my point?
Yes.
Yeah, it reduces the risk of dying at an early stage. That's why when we look at the people consuming coffee, these people are old people. When you find an old person saying that I've been drinking coffee from a young stage, that means that coffee has helped that person reduce his death risks. But basically that doesn't mean that someone has to drink coffee and you go stand in front of the car, because it's going to reduce the what? The death risk.
The best.
Wow. So then the other thing, coffee reduces the risk of attaining cancer, getting a stroke, or reducing diabetes too. It's called type 2 diabetes. You get it?
Mm.
So it reduces the risk
Yes.
of getting the cancer, having the stroke, and attaining type 2 diabetes. Like you had in the first statement, I said that coffee contains caffeine, magnesium, potassium, nutrients, antioxidant, antioxidant, antioxidant
Mm.
elements within it. So there are very many other beneficial elements within our coffee, but I managed to get some of the few. And remember, on my channel or on my page, wherever you're watching from, I give the basics, and it's the responsibility of the consumer or the barista or any other person watching to make more research. Because if I get to feed more and much more, people will be reluctant to make research about what they are consuming. You get it?
Mm.
So after
Yes.
that, then it does what? It protects your brain. Remember, every time you consume a cup of coffee and you get to, now let me say you're trying to fight something, like you're in a bad mood, you are in depression, you are trying to figure out different stress factors. When you take a cup of coffee, it's really going to calm you down, hence protecting your brain from overthinking, which is really going to lead to many disadvantages health wise and the way how you activate while you are dealing with people. So with those few benefits, that is the health side. That is with the health side of why you should consume why you should consume coffee. Then when we talk about disadvantages of consuming coffee, I just got a few because I really can't based on these disadvantages cause I haven't gotten too much cases about consuming coffees when it comes to these disadvantages. So there is disadvantages that coffee increases bedwetting in kids. That's why kids are not advised to consume coffee. So when it increases bedwetting, then it also increases insomnia or restlessness. There are many people, especially people who have, let me say, weak genes, and your coffee really can't try to work out with what? With the caffeine. You are going to find out that you are really going to be weak. You are going to feel restless. You feel like you can't sleep. This takes me to a scenario whereby I had a friend when I was still working at Protea Marriott. He came and asked me for a cup of coffee. I think he took a shot of espresso, and after drinking it, he fell down. You get it? So that is a perfect example whereby we had to just carry him, take him to the sick bay, and
Mm.
they gave him the right medication. But I think from that day, he was like, I'll never take a cup of coffee after learning from that. And then the other thing, truth is that
Mm.
coffee can kill. Coffee can kill. Remember, every time you consume a lot of coffee, it is advised for a person to take 2 to 4 cups a day. In the morning, afternoon, evening, sorry, in the morning, afternoon, evening, and at a time, let me say 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. within that section before you sleep. So once you consume high levels of coffee or too many cups of coffee, trust me, this coffee is really going to kill you due to the high caffeine. High caffeine increases the heartbeat, which is really going to lead to high blood pressure. And remember, we are not looking for that. You get it? So when you attain high blood pressure levels, you are going to get disadvantages, other disadvantages within your what? Within your body, and your body is not really going to fight hard when it comes to the red blood cells, white blood cells, and the genes that are going to fight for you to regulate the caffeine within the what? Within the body. So
Mm. Yeah.
just be aware that once you consume a lot of coffee, you have to have a hospital nearby whereby they are really going to give you total amounts of water within your body to dilute the caffeine that you've consumed. Then the last disadvantage, it's bad coffee can lead Bad coffee can be toxic to your body. It can be poison to your body. That also takes us to the factor that it can kill you. This comes from the process through which your coffee was made. Most people who take commercial coffee, we have specialty coffee and commercial coffee. Most of this commercial coffee is not uh, highly cared for like the specialty coffee. You are going to find defects, insects, and different bad things within this coffee. I'm not trying to to show the disadvantage of consuming commercial coffee. Not everyone working in the commercial coffee does that, but on a high level coffee made commercially, we are going to find out that they are toxic. They really can't separate what coffee has gone bad and what coffee stays right for consumption. They just have a mixture of this coffee, hence leading to what? Yeah, they just serve on this coffee because they want to get money. So I think with the health side of it, those are some of the reasons as to why a person has to take coffee and why a person doesn't have to take coffee. When it comes to the women side, those who ask me, is it right for a woman to take a cup of coffee? I would recommend that a pregnant woman doesn't have to consume a lot of coffee. If you to consume a lot of coffee, I would advise you to take a cup, let me say a coffee containing milk in it. Because remember also this milk contains different proteins that are really going to help you become stronger every time you train to tend to be weak. And it also helps the baby do what? It also helps the baby. I think someone is trying to text here. Okay. Oh, you are the one texting. Just a minute.
No, I'm done with it.
Oh, okay. So, I think, sorry, something I saw what's a discussion about. Okay, so, where we're at, the pregnant women, I would advise you to take a cup of coffee. But if you to take a cup of coffee, tell your barista not to put high levels of coffee. At least I would recommend a customer or a barista to serve that coffee with what? With a single shot of espresso or any diluted coffee. Like you can brew a V60. I think we have it's called, is it a Korean coffee? Whereby they get a V60, then they mix it with Spanish, with condensed milk and milk. Yeah, I think I would recommend a person to take a brewed V60, a cold or hot brewed V60 mixed with milk, because that one doesn't contain high levels of caffeine or the strength coffee can contain while a person is trying to consume it. So I would advise a person to take any, not espresso, just brewed, craft brewed coffees. You understand my point, huh? Then the other thing of women asking me about dryness when they take coffee. Why is it that they become dry? Things like that. I think first, that is just a mentality. You get it? Whereby most of the women had about it or had the disadvantage about drinking coffee that is going to make you dry. But to me, I think that's just a mentality. Most of the people fear taking coffee because of that reason, especially when it comes to women. But where I've been working from, or where I am working right now, it's mostly women who take coffee and they consume a lot of coffee. But I have never seen them complaining about coffee making the reaching them to that extent. So me, I would advise that women should take coffee, but not in large quantities. Because when you take in large quantities, it's going to cause dryness and it's going to lead to it's called infertility. Yeah, infertility rate. So once they consume too much, that is when we are going to see that that is really caused. Then still, I think when they consume a lot of coffee, especially on the espresso side, espresso based coffees like the cappuccino, cafe latte. Remember, espresso is made out of extraction using force. It's a force energy out of the machine. So when you take a lot of espresso-based coffees, it's going to lead to high levels of breast cancers, and it's really going to affect your ovaries as a woman. You get it? So I think once they reduce on taking the high levels of coffee, I think they won't face any challenges. And trust me, women who don't take coffee, you are missing a lot. And even men who don't take coffee, they are really missing a lot. Because when it boosts your power, it doesn't only boosts power for carrying things or doing anything, but it also increases the potentiality of a man having intersections with a female part of it. It really boosts up the energy, the love, the mobility of the man to engage sexually with the female part of it. So coffee really has a lot of benefits through which I would recommend anyone watching this video or anyone out there to make more research, especially when you visit a hospital. I would advise you at least to take a second out of what took you to the hospital to ask the doctor about the benefits of drinking coffee. So, Mr. Paul, since you're online, what do you think you can easily recommend to any person out there who is taking coffee or who doesn't take coffee, but they need to start taking coffee? What kind of coffee can you easily recommend to them?
I I could recommend him like latte, coffee latte. I could easily recommend to first take like a latte. Recommend on latte and macchiato.
Latte and macchiato.
And mocha.
Okay.
And mocha. That's what I can advise him to first take that one. Because it contains with milk and the other one contains with chocolate. It will be easy to come up with that familiarity when you are taking coffee.
Okay. So thank you very much. Like Mr. Jonas said, he's going to recommend you to take a macchiato. He's going to recommend you to take cafe latte or even a mocha. So when he talks about these things, when you see in the line through which he has tried to list them, instead of taking a shot of espresso directly, he would advise you to take a macchiato. Remember, a macchiato attains different elements of what? Of steamed milk. A macchiato can either be wet or it can either be wet or dry macchiato. A wet macchiato, I think I tried to describe it in one of the videos, but for a simple explanation, a wet macchiato is basically when you make a cappuccino, a small cappuccino in an espresso cup, and a dry macchiato is when you just get the float and scoop it to put it on the what? On the espresso that you have extracted. So a macchiato is kindly diluted. The milk reduces the strength of the espresso. So when you take it, you don't take a direct espresso, but you take something direct to a shot of espresso. So it's a weak espresso, weakened by the milk. So I would also advise someone who wants to learn how to take a shot of espresso to start with a macchiato. Then when it comes to a latte is it has different thresholds through which one can easily enjoy a cup of coffee. When it can be either single shot or a double shot. Just in case you're starting, start with a single shot. Talk to your barista, tell them to give you a single shot latte. Then for a double, still, it tries to, the coffee, remember this is when we use a double shot of espresso and the coffee hypes in the milk. But there are different ratios. It's going to be a ratio of 1 to 2 to 1, whereby a ratio of 1 that is milk, then, a ratio of 1 is espresso, milk hypes, then that is a ratio of 2, then the froth on top. That is a ratio of 1. So milk hypes and it gets to blend with the espresso. So that is a really diluted best coffee beverage that everyone has to be recommended for. Then when it comes to the mocha, we have a white mocha and a dark mocha. Mocha basically means a mixture of espresso and chocolate with espresso chocolate with milk. So when you get to enjoy, when you get, yeah, sure. So when you get to enjoy these beverages, the mocha, it can be either white mocha or dark mocha. It really attains the elements of the sweetness that you're really going to enjoy, however much you are tasting a cup of coffee. So I would advise still to go with the recommendation of Mr. John, but still as a barista also, we have the morning section. When you go to, we have the morning section. When you go to a coffee shop or when you're trying to make a cup of coffee at home, I would advise that when you wake up, don't take any espresso based beverage. For us baristas, we do take the espresso based because we want to test the coffee to see what we can easily recommend or what our customers are going to drink is really perfect or nice for what? For our customers. That's why we take espressos. But just in case you're a customer, I would recommend you to take filtered coffees just in case you wake up, because there is a way how it boosts you up. The energy that you gain out of a filtered coffee. When you talk about filtered coffees, we have espresso, Europress, plunger, French press, I think. Then we have the chemics, not so. We have a clever dripper, we have a calita, and we have a siphon. I think listed 8, but when you're a customer and you go to your coffee shop, you can ask the barista which filtered coffees do you sell. You get it? So I would advise a person watching this video to take a filtered coffee in the morning. Then in the afternoon, up to night or up to evening, that's when you can start taking the espresso-based beverages. You get it? But in the morning, I would advise one to take a hot cup of filtered coffee. In summer, you can take battery is low, but I don't know. Just a minute. I think I need to let me first cut off the voice volume of this. Thank you. Okay. So can you hear me, John?
Yes, I hear you.
Let me try to change. John can hear me. You can hear me?
Yes.
All right. I think let me get some speakers here. But John, as I'm getting my earphones, kindly help us talk about something as I'm getting the earphones.
What I can say on additional of the barrister Andrew, the good thing in taking coffee, there are very many advantages, and the one who can just come and identify, who can testify the coffee at the first take the first 6 basically.
Speaker testing system. I don't know whether you can hear me, but let's just continue without the earpieces. My my Bluetooth are done with a battery, so I think I shall just go in with that. So, Mr. John, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
I can. That I hear you.
My Bluetooth are done. Okay, I've gotten the volume. So basically, with recommendations, I think those are the recommendations that I can basically tell you as people watching. In the morning, just take filtered coffees. In the summer, I would advise any person watching this video to take brewed coffees. There are these brewed winery coffees like the cold brew, especially cold brews or cold filtered coffees, called V60, called Chemix, called Europress, called Plunger, and Yama cold brew coffees. Those coffees that are lasted long in the fridge, it can be kept like for 3 days, 1 week, 1 month, and it's really going to boost you personally, and you're really going to feel a change. So basically, Mr. John, as I was starting this video, or any person watching out there, as I was starting this video, I said coffee is really beneficial, not only health-wise, but it's beneficial economically, socially, politically. You get me?
Yes.
So I think I don't know what to do. Let me try to do this because it's really hard to have a one-way mode of communication. That's better. Okay. So when we talk about the social part of it, we as baristas are really having a fun part of it whereby we are really getting to meet different kinds of people when it comes to social. We get to meet different cultures, different people with different cultures, different states of mind, different ideologies, different things that I can talk about as a barista, because this has really happened to me ever since I joined this industry, the hotel industry, in the barista section. I have really met a lot of people who are really changing my lives. You get it? People who are really connecting you to different organizations, different beneficiaries, different things that are really helping you. However much still socially we find different people who are really, really, really out of state. When it comes to the mind, you're going to find people who are really going to quarrel at you. People are really going to abuse you, sometimes fight you. But socially, it really helps us to create a beautiful rapport with the different kinds of people, where through which we get to learn their cultures. Because if you to look at this, I work at my workplace. I work with Ugandans. I work with Filipinos, Nepalese, Arabs. I think Indonesians and Indians, yeah, basically very, very, very many people. But once you get to see their culture, you really get the interest to learn something about it. Even the customers who come, sometimes customers don't come because they want to drink a cup of coffee, but they come to share with you the different things at heart, whereby they come for advice, they come for different things, like, Mr. John, as we baristas
Yeah.
face those things.
Yes.
So when it comes
Yes.
to economically, I'll just talk a few things about this. When it comes to economically, coffee has really helped people develop right from the grassroots up to the top. So economically, we are going to look at the farmers, the roasters, we have the coffee testers, we have the baristas, we have the consumers. Remember all this value chain, all this coffee chain from the farmer. The farmer, when he gets to plant his coffee, when the farmer gets to plant his coffee, he really gains a lot, whereby a coffee roaster or a coffee tester or a barista or any person interested, or a coffee shop, is really going to come and buy the coffee beans from this what? From this farmer, due to the right processes through which the farmer is trying to take care of his coffee. Then from the farmer, it goes to the roaster. The roaster also sells this coffee to the coffee shop or different people who are interested in coffees. You get it? So you see that chain, it's economically helping one's pocket, through which when a farmer farms his coffee, is going to attain money after the harvest, through which he'll plant another coffee, but still he's taking care of his family. You get it?
Yeah. Yes.
So after that, then the roaster also sells the coffee to a coffee shop. But through this roaster, you're going to find out that a person roasts is going to understand the coffee profile, is going to bring the coffee tester, the coffee cuppers, the coffee evaluators. All those are engaged within the coffee roastery before it goes to the coffee shop. And by the time the owner of the coffee shop goes to the what? By the time the owner of the coffee shop goes to the roaster to buy the coffee, it's really based on productivity. A customer or the coffee shop owner is going to buy a product, and this coffee shop owner is going to take the barista to test that coffee. So you see how these people are meeting socially and trying to engage.
Yes.
So these people are engaging not only economically but socially. They share ideas. They go back to the farmer. How did you grow this coffee? It has different flavors, different tastes. Can we see the land? What did you put there? So when the barista also likes the coffee, then the barista shares it to the customer. So that is the social part of it and economical part of it. Then politically, I think due to the fact that, like the chain I've told you, economically from the farmer to the barista, this coffee, the government, or politically, the government gets to raise taxes out of it. Every time the farmer plants his coffee, then it's taken to the roaster, the green bean. Other countries, or this coffee is exported to other countries, or other countries, other people come into your country to have a lively taste of the coffee. It's going to contribute to, how do they call it? Tourism. Yeah, it contributes to tourism, whereby these people coming into the country are really paying taxes to the government, through which people are also earning different jobs like the tourism sector. So you see how coffee joins people socially, economically, politically.
Yes.
So basically, those are some of the benefits. If I start, when a barista starts talking about coffee, the barista will never stop talking about coffee. And coffee every day tries to enlarge. Coffee tries to become diverse, whereby every day you hear something new about coffee. So basically, with the benefits of taking coffee, I've given you benefits socially, politically, economically, and health wise. But still, I gave some of the disadvantages. And just in case you are a woman out there who doesn't want to take coffee because of the rumors that you've been hearing, all you need to do, don't drink too much coffee. Just drink 2 to 3 to 4 cups a day, and trust me, you are going to get the right benefits out of the coffee, rather than getting scared of the disadvantages like getting dry, causing breast cancer, things like that, because you are consuming a lot of it. Just regulate yourself as a woman or as a man out there to do what? To take a cup of coffee. Then lastly, I think I'll talk this in my local language. Kawa ayongera amaanyi g'ekisajja mu basajja. Okitegeera? Kawa ayongera amaanyi g'ekisajja mu basajja. So mostly people didn't know that coffee boosts manpower into a man, most especially when you're going to engage with your wife in terms of sexual part of it. So it really boosts your immunity, it boosts your morale, it boosts your brain, it reduces the depression, reduces death risks, cancer, stroke, type 2 diabetes, it burns fat, it does a lot of things. That's what I can say. And lastly, when you take a lot of coffee, don't wait for it to work in your body. All you need to do is do some exercises. Because me, every day after work, I go for road work, I do some exercises, I go for swimming, I jump my rope, depending on the mode of the day. But at least I have to sleep when I have done some little exercises. So I think basically that is it for today. Just in case anyone has any question,
So what?
I think we should feel free to ask before we close our chat. But to me, I think that is it. That it is for today. Not so, Mr. John?
I have one question. It goes to the exercise. What is the what is the importance of that exercise you need to do after taking coffee? Hello.
Mr. John, I didn't hear your question. Okay.
The question is, what is the use of that
Now,
exercise
to
when
answer to Mr. John's question, at first I wasn't hearing it. The importance of doing exercises. Remember, every time you consume anything, every time you get to consume something, let me say you consume a lot of food, don't immediately sleep. That food sits a lot in your body, and all you need to do is to cut it out. So it's the same with coffee. Coffee, like I told you, it contains more especially caffeine. And once you try to take in a lot of caffeine, or even if you've taken enough quantity of caffeine, remember there is those are elements that are not utilized within the body. So when you do exercises, you take out the wastage of the things that you've consumed or the coffee that you've consumed out of your body through doing exercises. And every time you sweat, you reduce the caffeine into your body, or that is in within your body, or the coffee wastes that are in your body. So me, I would advise that exercises are most part of it. You'll find out that most of the baristas deal with gyms. They go into gymming, they do different sports, do different things that are really going to boost their body. When you need energy, don't only take coffee and wait for the energy. It's like praying to God. It's like praying to God that I want food. You get it? But you want food, but you don't want to go to the farm to dig for the food. You get my point?
yes?
So basically, to me, I think that is one of the reasons as to why one has to consume, one has to do some exercises. Immediately, you consume a cup of coffee. So I see Mr. Don Williams. He has just joined when we are going to do it, when we are going to just close our session. Mr. Don Williams.
Yo,
Hello, Mr. Williams.
yo,
Right now, I don't know. Let me see. Mr.
hello.
John, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. And Don Williams.
Okay, Mr. Don Williams, you're most welcome to our session.
Thank you.
Though you came when we are going to conclude with our video, because I think we started it at 9 and it's 6 minutes to 10. So it has taken 1 hour.
Oh, I'm really late.
Yeah, you're very late. I think I shall, because since today is a Wednesday, we were trying out to see if people can easily join at 9 p.m. But I think we need to reschedule and see what is the perfect time for the Zoom meetings or for the Zoom classes for us baristas to share. So what is the perfect time for you?
Sometimes I close at 9.
Pardon, Mr. Don?
Sometimes I close at 8, sometimes I close at 9. So
Oh.
maybe
So,
10 p.m. would work.
okay, so Mr. John, what if we try out 10 p.m. in the next meeting, every Wednesday?
That's what I think. Maybe next week we try at 10.
Okay, because when we do it at 11, many people participate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we can either take it back to 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. So we shall discuss more in the group and see.
But 11 p.m. is also late for me.
We try it at around 10.
10 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I need to stop this live. For those Mr. Don. Mr. Don, I don't know why you have too much echoes in your. I'm going to first mute you. Mr. Don, first mute slightly, then we're going to open. So for those people watching this video live on YouTube, I would, Mr. Don, first mute your, first mute. Okay, so I think for those people watching this video on YouTube, this is one of our classes that we get to discuss different things about coffee. So just in case you are new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe because many more videos are coming your way. Today we're discussing about the benefits of enjoying a cup of coffee or any type of kind of coffee. It can be commercial, it can be uh, commercial or specialty coffee, but it's all going to contribute to the benefits of enjoying a cup of coffee. So just in case you are new, feel free to subscribe, turn on that notification bell to get more linkages when I try to upload a video. And just in case you are watching this video, feel free to share it to your friends and tell them to join our class. Just in case you want to join our class every Wednesday, please feel free to send me a message on my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Barista Andrea, like the name you are seeing on this YouTube channel. So where you're watching from, allow me to wish you a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a good night wherever you are. Don't forget to take a cup of coffee. See you there.